Hello class. So today we will be doing about human genome project. Okay. So human means human being. Okay, and genome means the entire set of chromosomes, entire gene. Okay, that is there in a cell. That is there in a single cell of a human being. That is genome. Okay, that entire gene is genome. So human genome project. It was also called a mega project. Why it was called mega means very large. Okay, large project, mega project. It is human genome is said to have approximately 3 into 10 to the power 9 base pair. So this is the estimated or approx length of the DNA. Okay, human gene, the entire gene is said to have approximately 3 into 10 to the power 9 base pair. And if the cost of sequencing, now sequencing means extracting. Okay, what happens in human genome project is that there will be extraction of human gene from the human cell, and there will be analysis study of that genome. Okay, so if it is this much long, then the cost of sequencing required is $3 per base pair. Per base pair it is taking 3 rupees, $3 US dollar. Okay, then 3 into 10 to the power 9 base pair will be $3 into 3 into 10 to the power 9 base pair. Okay, that will be the cost. So it will be approximately 9 billion US dollar for the entire set of human genome. Okay, so further, if the obtained sequences were to be stored in the typed form in the book, if the data, okay, the data of the gene, human gene, were to be collected, okay, and typed in the form of book, then if each page of the book contained 1000 letters, if we can write 1000 letters in single page of the book, then each book contain 1000 pages, then it will be around 3300 such books. Okay, 3300 such books would be required to store the information of DNA sequence, information of a single genome from a single human cell. So it is not possible. Okay, it was that's why it is called mega project. It is not possible. Paper and pen work for this extraction, or we can say sequencing of human gene, is not possible. Therefore, the enormous amount of data expected to be generated, whatever data is generated after sequencing the human genome, okay, it require the use of high speed computational devices. So high speed computational devices are very necessary, or it is required in order to collect those data, okay, for data storage and also for retrieval and analysis. In order to study the entire human genome, in order to store the data, okay, received, and in order to retrieve those data whenever it is necessary, okay, for the records, high speed computer devices, okay, computational devices is required, because it is not possible to do with the hands, okay, in the form of books. So HGP, that is Human Genome Project, was closely associated with the rapid development of new area in biology, which is called bioinformatics. So bioinformatics, it is a, it's a branch of biological science which deals with the storage of data, okay, storage of biological data. That means this genome, okay, extraction of genome, it is also, it must be stored in some form. Okay, so bioinformatics is the branch of biological science that helps in storage of such biological data in the form of database. You can see here in the diagram, in the form of database like this, okay, in this computer device. Okay, that is done in case of this bioinformatics branch of science. So this is just the general idea. Now, what are the goals of HGP, Human Genome Project? What are goals? Number one, identify all approximately 20,000 to 25,000 gene in human DNA. So the entire gene in a human DNA, okay, single cell, in a single cell, single human DNA, the entire gene would be approximately 20,000 to 25,000 gene. So identification of all those gene is one goal of HGP. Number two, determine the sequence of the 3 billion chemical base pair that make up human DNA. So base pairs, okay, that is adenine, guanine, thymine, cytosine, to determine all the sequences of that long chemical base pair in the human DNA. That is also the goal of HGP. Number 3 is, after identifying all the gene, okay, after determining the entire chemical base pairs, the thing whatever is collected, okay, it must be stored in the form of information in databases. In the form of databases, it must be stored in the computer device, okay. Then improve tools for data analysis, in order to study, in order to analyze what are there, what are the things, okay. In order to analyze all these things, there must be improved tools, because we cannot by looking at the sequence and all, we cannot easily say that the human genome contains this much of gene and this much of base pair. We cannot say like that. There must be some improved tools, okay. Next is transfer related technology to other sectors such as industry. So this technology, bioinformatics technology, okay, this must be used in other sector also, not only to know, okay, human genome, but also for other such sector, okay, like biotechnology industry, which we are going to learn later on. So everything comes under this HGP. These are all goals of HGP. Address the ethical, legal and social issues that may arise from the project. So this project, okay, mainly focus on extracting, or we can say sequencing of the human genome, and for that there will be ethical issues, legal issues, social issues, everything must be taken into consideration while doing this project, human genome projects. So these are the goals of HGP, okay. Now next, methodology. Now how the scientists do that? Number 1, the method involved 2 major approaches. One approach focused on identifying all the genes that are expressed as RNA, referred to as expressed sequence tag. So we know that, suppose if this is DNA, if this is DNA, then from DNA mRNA is formed, okay. So first approach, first methodology, it focus on identifying all the gene, entire gene, okay, entire gene that are expressed as RNA, entire set of DNA that will be expressed in the form of RNA, okay. So that process, it is referred to as expressed sequence tags, ESTS. That is number 1 approach, number 1 methodology, where they focused on identifying all the, that is entire gene that are expressed as RNA. And number 2 is, the other took the blind approach of simply sequencing the whole set of genome that contain all the coding and non-coding sequence. Now this is the first method, where the DNA, okay, the mRNA which is polymerized, the mRNA which is polymerized or expressed, okay, from the DNA, which is transcribed from the DNA, only those mRNA which contain only the coding sequence that code for certain gene, okay, which contain only the coding sequence, mRNA that contain coding sequence, only that mRNA, okay, the long set of mRNA, it is extracted or sequenced, which contain only the coding sequence, okay. That is number 1 method. Number 2 method is that if this is DNA, then the entire set present in the DNA, okay, entire set of base pairs, or we can say nucleotides, entire set of nucleotides, they are extracted or sequenced. Sequenced means to extract, okay. So everything is extracted. So in this method, what happens is that not only coding sequence that code for certain gene but will be extracted, but non-coding sequence will also be extracted. We know that in mRNA, okay, in mRNA there will be exon and intron, okay. Intron, they do not code for anything, but exon, they contain coding sequence, okay. Here in the first method, only coding sequence are extracted, only exons, okay, coding sequence are extracted. But in the second method, both coding sequence and non-coding sequence are extracted. So here you can see in the book. So second one is that sequencing the whole set of gene or genome that contain all the coding and non-coding sequence, and later assigning different region in the sequence with function, and later, you know, later after extracting every coding sequence and non-coding sequence, later on they will identify which are the segment that will code and which are the segment that will not code anything. Okay, so that type of methodology, it is called sequence annotation. First one is called expressed sequence tags, where only coding sequence that code for mRNA, okay, is extracted. The second method will be sequence annotation, where both coding and non-coding sequence will be extracted. Okay, so these are two methodologies. This human genome project will be much clear to you when we will be doing biotechnology. Okay, because biotechnology, it deals with the extraction of DNA, how it is done, what are the methods, everything comes under that unit, biotechnology. And after that only you will be clear with this human genome project also. Just remember, what happens in human genome project is that the gene, okay, the entire set of human gene is extracted, they are identified, okay, and scientists will determine all the base pair that is present in the human gene, and everything, whatever data is collected, that is stored in the form of database in the computer, okay, and it is kept there for future references. Okay, so that is the main point. Now coming to the very important topic, that is salient feature of human genome. What are the features of human genome? Okay, so the human genome contains 3164.7 million nucleotide bases. Okay, the average gene consists of 3000 bases, but sizes vary greatly, with the largest known human gene being dystrophin at 2.4 million bases. Suppose this is DNA. So A, T, G, like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, lots of base pairs are there. So at around 2.4 million bases, there will be one gene which is very large in size. Okay, so here number 3, the total number of gene is estimated at 30,000, much lower than previous estimated gene. Almost all nucleotide bases are exactly the same in all people. So nucleotide bases, that means the bases adenine, guanine, thymine. Okay, however it is, suppose this is G, G, C, A, like this. Okay, the sequence is like this. So 99.9% sequence will be same in all human beings, except for sex chromosomes. Okay, it will be same in all human beings. So the functions are unknown for over 50% of the discovered gene. Okay, so 50% of the discovered gene, the gene which are discovered, okay, 50% of that gene, the function is still unknown. They are saying like that. So less than 2% of genome codes for protein. So if 100% gene are there, okay, out of 100% genome of a human cell, 2%, less than 2% of the genome codes for proteins. The entire gene cannot code for proteins. Repeated sequence make a very large portion of human genome. So there will be lots of repeated sequence, like suppose ATGGC is there, the same ATGGC will be there maximum time repeated. Okay, so because of that repeated sequence, the human genome will be very large. Okay, repetitive sequence are stretches of DNA sequence that are repeated many times, sometimes 100 to 1000 times they are repeated. Okay, they are thought to have no direct coding function. They do not have any function for coding anything or expressing anything, but they shed light on chromosome structure, dynamics and evolution. But they are helpful in studying chromosome structure, okay, the structure of chromosome in human being, evolutions, dynamics. Okay, so their function comes under this topic, but they do not code for any thing. Okay, they are not responsible for expressing anything because it is repeated many times. Okay, next, chromosome 1 has most gene. So we know that in human beings there are 23 pairs of chromosome. Out of this 23 pair, 22 pair will be somatic chromosome. So suppose this is chromosome number 1. Similarly, we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 23 pairs. This is one pair. So this one number of chromosome, okay, chromosome 1. Here you can see chromosome 1 has most gene. So I have already told you while teaching chromosomes that chromosome is a condensed form, okay, condensed form of DNA. It contains lots of gene, okay, pair of gene, lots of pair of gene, not only one. There are multiple gene present in one single pair of chromosomes. So chromosome number 1 has most or the maximum gene, that is 2968. Around this much gene is present in one single pair of chromosome, okay, that first chromosome. And the Y has the fewest one, the sex chromosome, okay, 23 pair. One is X chromosome, one is Y chromosome. This Y chromosome has the minimum number of gene, that is 231 only, okay, which is this much gene is present in Y chromosomes. All right. Now scientists have identified about 1.4 million locations where single base DNA differences. So while when the scientists extracted those DNA, okay, they have identified in most of the human beings, okay, single base DNA, many location they have found, okay. Suppose this is one genome of one human being, then another human being. Suppose this is different, okay, the sequence out here, the adenine, guanine, the nitrogenous bases out here is different, okay, different, but they have found maximum many repeated single base pair differences. Sorry, not here it is all same, okay, because 99.9% the nitrogenous base, the sequence will be same in all human being, okay, but they have found many such points where there is single base differences. Suppose in one human being it is A, T, G, G, C, like that goes on, okay. Then in another human being it will be A, T, G, and suppose this is T, then C. So here it will be single base difference, rest are same, like that, okay. Such single nucleotide polymorphism, it is also called single nucleotide polymorphism, only because there is single base pair differences only. So it is called single nucleotide polymorphism, okay. It occurs in human being. So this information promises to revolutionize the process of finding chromosomal location for disease associated sequence and tracing human history. So these all things, okay, Human Genome Project, everything, it helps in studying evolution, okay, because when they extract human gene and when they study and analyze human gene, okay, then they can trace the evolutionary history, that who are our ancestral. It is said that monkeys are said to be in close relation with the human being. They are closely related with the human being, okay. It is said that our ancestral or forefather are same. Why they can say so? It is because of the chromosome pattern. It is because of the chromosome pattern, or we can say it is because of the nucleotide sequences, okay, nucleotide sequences which are more or less similar to that of monkey as well as human being. Because of all those things, okay, they can trace the evolutionary history. So not only that, okay, scientists, because of this Human Genome Project or Human Genome Project, scientists can they can find out the disease and its causes. Like there are different chromosomal disorders that we have learned, okay, and how they could find that. that chromosome number, there is defect in chromosome number 3, okay, because chromosome is a condensed form, it is very it has got many, okay, these thousands of gene, but one single gene, okay, disorder in one single gene causes these diseases, that diseases. The scientist can say all those things because of this study, because they could study the human genome properly, that's why they can share those information to the world, okay. So this is all about Human Genome Project. So you need to know what is Human Genome Project, okay, what are the goals, how it is extracted, methodology, and very important, the salient feature of human genome, okay. So application I have already told you, okay, it is used, how it is used in evolutionary tracing and all. So this is our the topic Human Genome Project, which is completed. Now the last topic that we have is DNA fingerprinting, but this topic I want to do with you all while doing biotechnology, because it is related to the biotechnology. Unless and until you don't understand biotechnology, okay, process, you will be confused with this topic. So I will do this DNA fingerprinting while doing biotechnology, because it is there also. So I think with this we have completed the chapter 6, okay, chapter number 6. From tomorrow we will be doing about the next chapter, that is evolution. Yeah, thank you class.